David here, welcome to another Btekt. This one's sponsored by Direct Mobiles. For the best mobile deals, check out directmobiles.co.uk. So we're all still waiting for Sony's new flagship, the Sony Xperia 1 Mark II to arrive. But recently we have got some more information about the camera system. Quite a lot of technical detail thanks to a briefing from Sony. The Xperia 1 Mark II's camera, on the face of it, has the same specifications as the Mark I, with three 12-megapixel sensors. Xperia 1 used Sony's own G lens series, but this time with Xperia 1 Mark II they're using Zeiss lenses, but also marked with a red T, indicating that now they're using Zeiss T-star coatings on the lens. So why is this important? Well, lens coatings are extremely important when it comes to camera optics, allowing for better light transmission and reducing reflections. Zeiss's recipe for these coatings are among the best available. This example shows just how important those lens coatings are. These new Zeiss optics should give the Xperia 1 Mark II sharper and even more contrasty images than before. Zeiss's T-star lens coatings have been in development since the 1930s, and although we have seen Zeiss lenses on smartphones before, most notably Nokia's, this is the first time that they are using the T-star coatings in a smart device. Xperia 1 Mark II's main sensor is a 1x1.7-inch exmor RS for mobile imaging sensor that is said to have 1.5 times more light sensitivity than that of the Xperia 1. It has a pixel pitch of 1.8 microns. This is very large for a sensor that's not using pixel binning to combine the pitch from multiple pixels, so we do expect good performance in low light. Also, this sensor has a readout speed of 10 milliseconds. Now this is a fast readout speed and enables for fast processing of the images for Sony's high-speed autofocus system. This is where Sony's Alpha division come into play. They have added a similar autofocus system to their flagship Alpha A9. We get continuous shooting at 20 frames per second with autofocus and auto exposure. We also get real-time eye autofocus for people and animals. This should be a great camera for shooting sports or for wildlife or for anything that's moving. The workload is shared between the exmor RS sensor and the image signal processor, or ISP, which is again a mobile version of the interchangeable lens cameras, the Bionz X engine. The autofocus calculations are handled by the sensor and the image processing is done by the Bionz ISP. The sensor is capable of 60 autofocus and auto exposure calculations per second. So this means that shooting at 20 frames per second is only possible with the main sensor and gives Xperia 1 Mark II the same continuous shooting rate as the Alpha A9. The other two sensors are capable of 10 frames per second continuous autofocus and auto exposure shooting. Those high-speed autofocus calculations are also utilized by the real-time eye autofocus system. That is also present with the Xperia 1, but this time it is capable of recognizing animals as well. Again, this is technology taken from the Alpha cameras. However, on the Alpha series, it is tuned to recognize the eyes of distant animals through a zoom lens. Here it's more suited to closer shots, like your dog running around your garden, which does make sense and makes this something you really should be interested in if you are always taking pictures of your pets. Xperia 1 Mark II uses 247 phase detect autofocus points. This is about 4 times as much as we see in the Xperia 1, and it gets a 70% coverage of the sensor. This is probably the most sophisticated autofocus system that we've seen on any smartphone. The 3D-Eye time-of-flight sensor also increases the accuracy of the focusing system by providing accurate depth and positioning information. Xperia 1 used laser autofocus, which gives great accuracy, but it only measures from one point at the center of the frame. This time around with the time-of-flight sensor, it will measure from 43,200 different points around the frame, so autofocus accuracy should be right on point. On top of this, the AI remembers subjects that you've taken in the past to try to help avoiding focusing on the wrong thing. For the serious photographers, we've also got some details about the Photo Pro app. Last year's Xperia 1 came preloaded with Cinema Pro. It offered full manual controls for video and had some functions that were held back from the main video app, such as the ability to shoot at 21:9. It does seem like it will be a similar experience with Photo Pro. This time they're reproducing the interface found on the Alpha cameras, giving you all the functionality and shooting aids that you would find in the bigger cameras. It does seem like the 20 frame per second shooting speed will be something that you will only find in the Photography Pro menus. The Photo Pro app in itself is a really good sign that we will see a much improved camera software and processing from the Xperia 1 Mark II, which in my opinion is what holds it back compared to the best smartphone cameras out there. Sony have been asking professional photographers around the world what their most used functions are and where they would be best placed on the user interface. Notably, we get a shooting dial icon, and there is the removal of the shutter button, forcing users to rely on the physical camera shutter release button, which features in all Sony flagships and has a half press and a full press to take the shot. Of course, we expect to see the Cinema Pro app as well. I really hope that we see some improvements there, maybe a few more LUTs to work with. I'm definitely looking forward to getting hold of one of these phones and putting it through its paces. I'm hopeful that this time is going to be a really good camera. Let me know what you think. Is this enough innovative tech within a 12 megapixel system to be able to compete with the 108 megapixel monsters that we have right now? Make sure that you sub to Btekt, because as soon as I get hold of one of these, there'll be plenty of samples for us to look at. And also, don't forget to check out the Direct Mobile's website when you're ready to buy your new Xperia phone or whatever phone you're after. You can compare all of the deals from all of the different networks right there in the one place. And with over 24 years of award-winning customer service, you are really well looked after. Direct Mobiles are there to find you the best possible price. Their link's in the video description below, or search directmobiles.co.uk. And that's it. Thank you for watching. You can follow me on social media. I'm David. This is Btekt.